person is affiliated with, you'll have to include minimum of 2 meeting dates for your advisory committee. Okay? And I believe that field self-populates, so make sure you change the dates on your advisory committees. Okay. Continuing with Appendix F, you have your New Mexico graduation requirements. There's the PED web link. Okay? Any information that you might need on graduation requirements. The local district tribal requirements. This is where you determine, you have the autonomy to decide if you want your students to be proficient or take Spanish 1 or maybe MOS, Microsoft Office Suite, as a requirement at the local level. Okay. Your career area college entrance requirements. This is where your 3-course sequence with no remedial coursework is duplicated. And your additional academic electives might be, this is where your next step plans, your customized student specialized interests come into play, maybe your STEM, your art, and your music. Okay. Okay. Are you still recording? Don't cut me off. We still have more of Appendix F. Okay. Going on with Appendix F, academic and career enhancement. Here's your extra help strategies that you'll need to identify, your tutoring services maybe that you're providing to your students. Okay. And your post-secondary program. This is going to tie in with your associate degree programs and beyond. Ms. Garcia, Renee just finished with her budget. Keep in mind, the 7 items. However, the most important thing that you need to do is, if you are a new program manager, get familiar with the policies of your institution and your district, your travel policies. Become familiar, know them, your per diem and your travel policies for mileage, expenses, meals, etc. Okay? And don't forget to put a total budget in for each program of study. Okay, Appendix G. Please read these directions carefully. I believe there are, okay, more, yeah, okay, Appendix H, okay. You'll find multiple pages for Appendix H. There's 2 sets of performance measure forms, one for secondary, one for post-secondary. Complete only the pages that apply to your institution if you're secondary or post-secondary. Please contact your grant administrator if you have any questions about Appendix H. Okay. April 1st is your deadline, 5 o'clock. I believe it's a Wednesday. We will not accept any late submissions on your online application. We're going to need 30 days to review your application. There will be 2 evaluators, your grant monitor and a second evaluator. Only hit the submit button when you are completed. You can save as you're working through your online application, so please save it if you need to go back and make any kind of changes. And again, do not wait till the last day to submit the online application, because we're pretty swamped that last week. Okay. Okay. Revisions. Okay. This is where you develop rapport, dialogue with your grant monitor. You have about 45 days to make your revisions, to resubmit, to make changes. It's a working document to your online application. Okay. Okay. Substantial approval by June 15th. This allows for a budget to be approved by July the 1st. Meaning the application requirements were met at a minimum of 70% completion threshold, and upon substantial approval, you may obligate dollars, but you're not able to claim them. Please, planning amounts for school year 15-16 are known in April, so use your budget level funding of 14-15 in the meantime for your 15-16 application. Okay. Upon full approval, it must be accomplished to get reimbursed. And upon full approval, you can submit your RFRs. Okay.
Should we use the the final allocation letter was? Because we all get the first one and it's lower, then we get the final one that's a lot higher. Which of those can we use to plan this new allocation?
Your 14, 15, whatever you received in 14, you can start planning for that budget. In the last 5 years, the feds have not really decreased or increased our Perkins amounts all that much. So you can plan on 15, 16 based on your 14, 15 allocations. You can start planning that. Okay. So I know CNM is providing, I'm sorry, okay.
Sorry, we get 2 letters. Mm-hmm. One of them gives us a starting amount, and then we get
the 90%.
And then one's bumped up. So do we go with the, well, ours was a lot different than 10%. Ours started at 229 and ended up somewhere in the 13. I mean, in the 3,000. So which do we plan? It makes a huge difference.
I think I can help with. I'm not going to help answer it because our board has a big problem with it. When we get the
That's an isolated situation.
Approval, you know, we start our reps.
Yeah.
Okay. They're oh no, we need the official letter, which comes out considerably later, and they won't let us spend a blasted thing until they get the official letter, which lays everything, and then you have to change your bar another time because you've got additional funds, and then you have to wait until the board approves that, and everything is so backed up that we're not getting the materials we're supposed to be spending.
I hear your pain.
Yeah.
I'll take it a step further. I endure your pain. So just to set some context, we're gonna break. We're gonna have lunch. It's a working lunch. Feel free to designate those questions. We'll come back at the end of the day. But just to promptly address this particular issue while it's on the agenda, what happens? What I find absolutely fascinating is that there are, a tremendous volume of federal dollars that flow through the public education department to school districts specifically, and to post-secondaries, the purposes of Perkins. A huge volume of federal dollars, right? And I'll tell you, I'm going to give you just a very clear example. It must have been June of 2014. I was walking up to the second floor of the PED into administrative services with all of these edited letters that we needed to send out that said, here's your planning amount for your Perkins allocation. And those amounts were 90% of your prior year award, because that had been the established policy set forth by the Deputy Cabinet Secretary of Administrative Services, that this is the way we would do it. And when I took the letters up to Administrative Services, they said, why are you the only program that brings us these planning letters? And I said, tell me more. I have been here for almost 15 years now, and I'm just hearing this now. What do you mean? And they said, no other federal program initiates a letter like you do in Perkins. Is it in law that you have to have a planning letter? I said, no, it's not in law that we have a planning letter, but we do have a July 1 budget, which is the advanced portion of the October 1. And they said, well, we're aligning this to the agency's process, and what happens for Title I, Special Ed, Title II, Bilingual Ed, and everybody else, the agency has said, well, we publish those amounts on the PEDS Administrative Services website. So business managers are aware of it, superintendents are aware of it, so business managers are to go to the website, and that's where they find all of their federal dollar allocation notices, if you will, and they said Perkins needs to be part of that system. And I said, so are you telling me we're not going to get the kickback from Kathy Camargo and Bernalillo that she needs a letter? And they said, well, why should she? Because they're not kicking back on Special Ed or Title I or anything else. They said it's a federal program. So that's why that June letter never went out, and even to post-secondary institutions, and they said it's on the website. What I see as a failed responsibility is, well, where is the official notification indicating that that's where you pick the amount up? Now, that's a broader conversation that needs to happen within the administrative echelons of PED, very clearly. However, what happens is, for your purposes of planning here, who's a new applicant? Never received Perkins before, and you're hearing all of this stuff for the first time saying, I shouldn't have even come. Can I just ask what school? Gilbert Senna Charter School. You and I need to have a conversation. Cuba High School. We need to have a conversation. And the reason I say that is because there's a minimum funding threshold of $15,000 within the formula for Perkins. we have a specific process to follow for charter school, and I don't believe